namaste, welcome back to our channel at the Himalayan Hillside Farms. I hope you liked our last video about potting up our seedlings. If you didn't see that, we'll do a link to it up here in the corner. So today we're going to be building a trellis for those tomatoes that we had potted up, and we're going to go step by step on how to do it. We grow our tomatoes vertically instead of on the ground, so we're going to be building the trellis out of electrical conduit, and it's a 1/2-inch conduit, and I'll go through all the tools needed and also step by step on how to do it. So the first thing you're going to need is some 1/2-inch electrical conduit, and it comes in 10-foot sections, and we're going to be cutting it down to fit our raised beds. We have raised beds 4 foot by 8 foot, so we're going to make it fit that. So we're going to take the 10-foot sections and cut them down, and this is a 1-foot piece. We have some corners here, they're just 90-degree elbows. We have some connectors, and that's how we're going to connect it all together. You can find all this stuff in the electrical section, or we'll put links to it down in the show notes. You're going to need some kind of a saw. This is a hacksaw, and this is how we cut the electrical conduit. You're going to need a screwdriver, just a flathead screwdriver, and that's going to make all the connections. You'll need a measuring tape. You'll need a pencil or a marker to mark it so you can cut it. We're going to need some 1/2-inch straps. Again, this is all sold in the electrical section. 1/2-inch straps. And then we need some 1.25-inch screws. I like to use the star heads, the T25 bits. And make sure you get some outside ones. These are sold for decks, and it says right there, deck mate. You need some kind of a screw gun or impact gun. The bit comes with the screws, so it should come with it. And then we use tie wire to tie it all up, and we'll show you how to use all this stuff today. So the first thing that we're going to do is we need to start assembling some of the pieces. I had already cut it, so we're not going to go into that. I'll just tell you the lengths that you need to cut it, and then, you know, depending on what kind of saw you use, you'll have to do it that way. So we need all these connectors on these 90s, and I like to put it down on a flat surface, so that way I know that it's good, nice and flat. And it's pretty simple. You just push it all together, and then when it's nice and tight, you screw it together. You can use your drill for this, but sometimes I like hand tools. That easy. We actually need to build 2 of these, so 1 on each end. Like I said, we're going to be cutting these down to 8-foot sections, and then this will be the leftover. You make a 1-foot section, and then for the risers, we have some that are 5 foot a piece because it's a 10-foot pipe. We just cut it in half, and that's as tall as we need to make it. And all you have to do for that is that's the finished product right there. And then we're going to be making some cross members, but when we put it in the raised beds, we'll go over that. Okay, so we're about to go into our raised bed garden. We got 22 raised beds in here. They're 4 foot by 8 foot, so it gives us plenty of space to grow. So come on in and we'll show you. Also, there's going to be a link in the video on our time lapse of us building it. Okay, so this is what we're building. This is the tomato trellis. You can honestly use it for anything. Cucumbers, peppers, you know, whatever you really want. It's something that's simple but very versatile. I like using these building materials because they're gonna last for a long time. You know, this stuff is meant to, you know, survive over the years. So what we're gonna use to trellis the tomatoes are these little clips, and I can put a link for which ones. We've tried a couple different kinds, and I'll put a link to the ones that we prefer the most. But they're just little clips, and they'll go around the plant and on this, and it'll hold it on tight. You can use string, or there's plenty of other different ways of doing it, but this is the fastest and easiest way, and I think these were really affordable. I don't know how much per piece, but they weren't expensive. You know, we use tie wire to tie it up here, and that's made for rebar and concrete, so this is going to last a really long time. This is 2 inches by 4 inches welded wire galvanized fence, and it's 4 feet tall, so we have some space for the tomatoes to grow up. And then the other thing that you kind of need to see is we attached it to the raised bed with the screws and the clips. I find if we use one, it's still a little bit wobbly, but if you use 2, it gets really, you know, really sturdy. And the T-post in the middle, we added those in there so that way the fence wasn't as wobbly. I mean, you're not going to really get it perfectly straight, but with the T-post in the middle, it gives it that extra stability. And the T-posts were only $5, so, you know, an extra $10 per bed. I feel a lot more comfortable with it, that the tomatoes aren't going anywhere. So we're gonna keep going, and we got 2 more to build, and if there's anything that we need to add, we'll stop and show you that. Okay, so that wraps it up for us. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. See you next video.